Welcome back. Today we're looking at oddly terrifying. Things that are terrifying in an odd sort of way. Speaking of which, you know what's really oddly terrifying? Eye contact. I've had several people tell me that they both like and don't like that I look at the lens instead of at the viewfinder like a lot of YouTubers do. It's hard not to because there's a little miniature version of me right there and it lets me know if I look weird or not, but I try really hard to look here. That probably isn't a positive for everyone, having me look you in the eyes. I want the vibe here to be like, we're friends, you know? And so imagine if your friend was always looking like a few inches off to the side of you at all times. Listen, I know you've been going through a tough time lately, but I want you to know I'm there for you. Just call me whenever you want. Whenever you need a shoulder to cry on or someone to look you almost in the eye and tell you what you need to hear, I'm there. Anyway, let's jump into some scary stuff. We haven't done this in some months, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna get grossed out by something, I know it. I already don't like the looks of this because I'm seeing a lot of little holes, and you know how I feel about a lot of little holes. A bunch of little things are gonna come out, I know it. Oh, yep. A bunch of little things. Oh, ew, dude. Ew, dude. I was hoping it'd be like mussels or clams. Okay, what are those? Are those actually just on the beach? Okay, I mean, I'm both right and wrong, because it's called a razor clam. So it is a clam, but it doesn't look anything like any clam I've ever known. I really don't want to know much more about this. They look gross. They look like fish sticks. And that's fish sticks, by the way. Fish sticks. This coffee shop uses AI to measure the productivity of their employees and time spent per customer. Dang, what a nightmare future we're heading for, huh? Olga, you gotta pick up the pace a little bit. Anna's over here at 20 cups and you're sitting at 3. Who you trying to impress, Anna? As if working at a coffee shop wasn't hectic enough, imagine having a computer judging your every move and like sending like data to your boss. Yep, this is horrifying. I hope that this does not become popularized because this is gonna make working so much worse. I feel like the one saving grace of a minimum wage job is those nice little moments when your manager's not around so you can just goof off with your coworkers a little bit. Imagine that being data. Olga, come into my office. I noticed that between 3:30 and 3:35 yesterday, you and Anna were talking about non-work related topics. I'm not trying to be the bad guy here, but you gotta knock that off, all right? You can have as much fun as you want when you're off the clock at home. Yeah, the future kind of blows, doesn't it? How did AI become such a bad thing so quick? Moving on. Wow. Millions of sardines. How does this happen? Oh, it's kind of disturbing seeing just a barrel full of flopping little fish. Oh, dude, that kid just stepped on a bunch of them, man. I don't know, it's more silly than terrifying. I think seeing this barrel full of them is probably the most terrifying part of it. Just the like wriggling and writhing just layer of them is pretty weird to see, but the worst part's definitely the dude just walking through them. Ground wasp removal. I feel like it's not going well, am I right? You're telling me their nest is under the ground? Oh, this is gonna be big, I know it. Oh my god. Wow, dude. That is huge. I don't know if I knew that they could build their nests underground like that. I've seen wasp nests, like, you know, where they would build them like near the roof of your house and they'd be like, you know, as big as like a ball, a baseball. But that's a family-sized pizza right there. This is such a weird image out of context. Remember the Teletubbies? This is them now. Feel old yet? Okay, we got a spider one. We're gonna skip that one. You know the rules. Chinese teenager with unusually long neck. He has 3 extra vertebrae in his neck. Wow, that's crazy. Like, I've got a pretty long neck, although looking at this and looking at myself, I'm like, bro, no I don't. I got the most normal neck I've ever seen. But as a teenager, I always thought I had a long neck for some reason. I don't know why. It was just, you know how being a teenager is. You just think you have flaws where you actually don't. I think this is what teenager me thought I looked like to other people. I kind of feel bad this is on the oddly terrifying subreddit because this is just what this dude looks like. But I don't think it's terrifying, but it is a little odd. Yikes.
What the?
Is this just a stray horse? Psychopath horse watches you sleep? Look, man, I'm not a big horse fan. I think that I'm not a big fan of animals that are bigger than me at the best of times. I don't think I'd want to wake up and find one watching me. It's not like your tent is going to protect you if it decides to go crazy on you. Yeah, not a good neighbor to have when camping. Get it? Neighbor? Neighbor? Oh man, neighbor? Oh man, that's good. A camera. There are even smaller versions. That is teeny tiny. In like the first Spy Kids movie, they have like the world's smallest camera. They're like, you see that? There's a camera right there. I thought that was so sick as a kid. I was like, camera? I don't think there is any good reason to have a tiny camera that's so small that no one can see it. I guess like home security, but I think it's probably better to have a camera that an invader could see so that they would maybe not invade. You know, you don't want to prank the invader like, you thought we didn't know that you invaded our home, but we saw it on our little secret camera. Imagine going all Chris Hansen on a robber in your house where they're like in the middle of looting your house thinking no one's around and there's no cameras. They're getting away with it, easy peasy, and you come out and you're like, why don't you have a seat right over there? We've been watching you this whole time. There's a camera there, there's a camera there, there's a camera there, there's a camera there. So yeah, I don't think there's really a legitimate, non-creepy reason to have a teeny tiny camera like this. So yes, oddly terrifying. Especially if these things keep getting better and better. I'm sure the video quality on this is trash right now, probably, hopefully, but that doesn't mean it always will be. We might have 4K cameras this size. I mean, imagine just the paranoia. I don't know, man. The future is looking a little sketchy, isn't it? New robot just dropped. Yeah, it's definitely terrifying because of the implications, but it's also kind of cute, you know? It's so clumsy, but like determined looking. I don't know. It's kind of sweet, but also it's not because the robots are going to kill us all someday. All we can do is hope that it's after we're gone. Fingers crossed. Tiles popping from the floor? What? It doesn't look like an earthquake though. It's like they're just like shattering. I wonder if it's like a temperature thing. Uncoupling. The tiles are not properly installed to allow for expansion and contraction with moisture levels. Okay, so moisture levels? That's wild. I don't know. This doesn't really fit oddly terrifying to me. It's just like a weird video to see. It's oddly terrifying how bad of a job they did on your tiles, I guess. Oh boy. Oh man. That's so scary, dude. I mean, you'd think you'd have some lights on the boat, right? I think they just turn all their lights off to make it scarier, but like, it is pitch black around you. Even if you got lights on your boat, you can't see anything out there. That's just freaky. Submarine passes below 2 scuba divers. There's nothing worse than this, man. This bothers my soul, dude. There it goes. Back into the darkness. Bro, it's always water stuff. How come no matter what topic we're looking at, there's always some underwater video just for me? Creepy mold that formed from a plate of left out cat food? Oh my. It looks like hair. I kind of want to zoom in on this, but I also really don't. Enhance? Jeez, it looks like hair. It's actually just hair with like little beads on it. That is disturbing. I've seen a lot of mold, particularly when I'm filming these videos, but never anything that looks like this. This looks like a porcupine. I, under no circumstances, would touch this. But what does this feel like? Does this feel hairy? Does it break when you touch it? Or could you like pet it like an animal? Ooh, imagine you go to touch it and it like moves. It just like scurries across the floor. Let's move on. That's enough of that. Inside a 1,000-year-old tree. Bold, dude. So bold. The type of tree is that it's so big and hollow. I don't know, not really odd or terrifying, just kind of cool. Just seeing this creeped me out because I was like, I don't know, man. What about like spiders, you know? But it looks strangely clean, like it's frequented. It looks like the tree wanted people to come in, you know, made this nice little tunnel for them.
Whoever invented the earthquake bed was a genius.
Oh my God.
Doesn't look any different than a regular bed, but when there's a big earthquake, the vibrations will be captured by the bed's high-precision sensors, and then the person and the mattress fall into this big box. All this will be done quickly before the house collapses. The case is made of high-strength alloy steel, and is supported by a number of solid steel. Normal wall collapses can't harm it. The bottom of the crate contains not only a large amount of food and water, as well as firefighting and medical supplies. With side vents, there's no need to worry about oxygen deprivation. In addition to the regular box, there are also lifting models, sliding models, double doors open models.
Oh yeah,
Even
that's the one I'm
doors
getting
on
right
cars
there.
are fitted
The
with
double
it.
doors.
So
So I live somewhere where there's not really earthquakes. Like there are, but they're small ones. So this just seems insane to me. This is ironic because I do live sort of close to the San Andreas fault line. I don't know. That's a future problem. Dwayne Johnson will save me. I'm not worried about it. I get that it's like forward thinking. Like you don't buy this after your apartment building collapses. You buy it because there's a small chance it could. I would just feel weird buying a bed that converts into a coffin because I'm worried that my apartment building will collapse on me. Also, these little air vents here, since you're buying this thing for the event that you get like crushed and buried by a building collapsing on you, isn't it pretty possible that these could be blocked? What a wild piece of tech. I don't know, man. Where I live, there's so many like big vehicles that drive by that just vibrate my whole room. And I'm like, dude, that would set off my earthquake bed big time. I would go to sleep like this and I'd wake up like this. Anyway, moving on. Okay, this one is very disturbing. Morgue chocolates. Want me to keep going? Made from molds of wounds found on bodies in a New York morgue. So they made molds using wounds on dead bodies, and they made chocolates that look like these wounds, using these wounds as molds. Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad because it's chocolate, but it doesn't really help. It's kind of graphic looking wounds, so we're gonna move on. But to change the subject, the mold one from earlier, they spelled mold wrong by spelling it with a U, creepy mold. And then I want to point out that this one did the opposite, where they spelled it wrong the other way. Isn't that kind of fun? They both spelled it wrong in an opposite way. Isn't that kind of sweet? They would be perfect for each other. Oddly unreal looking side of the road. Hey, this is a classic like liminal space picture. I actually found where this one is. This is a parking lot to an office building in Oklahoma. I love this picture. It's perfect liminal space. It's so good. A malfunctioning dental school robot. Why is this a thing? If you're doing dental work, isn't the only part that you need the mouth? Why does this have like realistic features where it can like move its neck side to side on its own? Why do its eyes have to move and like sort of blink? I guess once you've done dental work on a demon-possessed robot, doing dental work on someone like me wouldn't be so bad, huh? Right? I just hiked over 2,000 miles from Georgia to Maine. This is my face before and after the hike. Dang, dude. Did it take you 15 years to do it? Because that's about how much older you look in the second image. Did you not eat? Did you not take breaks? Did you start doing meth? That's crazy how bad he looks in the second image. Looks like a completely different person, and like not in a good way. This should be me before doing something, challenging myself to do something life-changing. And this is me afterwards. Wow, I'm happier and healthier, and it was worth it. But not trying to be like mean. That's a great achievement. I'm sure it's just, that's what he looked like right after. You know, I'm sure once he took a nice shower and had a couple proper meals, I'm sure he was fine, I hope. This is gonna be creepy, I can feel it. I just know behind that door is darkness. I've been hearing this at exactly 1:05 a.m. every night, and at first I thought it was a one-off thing that someone was doing, but I've heard it repeatedly, and at first I thought I was going crazy, but then I filmed it and it freaked me out. What would even be the purpose of something like this? Why is that such a scary sound? It sounds like a phone dialing, maybe, but it sounds so evil. The context of just opening your door into darkness and then hearing that is so scary. Okay, update video. Okay, well, it's definitely the elevator like rebooting or something. I didn't even notice the elevator the first time. Why is it still scary even knowing? That was a great, oddly terrifying one because it's not scary at all, technically speaking. It's just some sort of elevator noise, like rebooting or something. I don't know. If it happens at the same time every night, it must be like the system resetting or something. Out of context. Dude, that's so scary. It's just not a sound that you would expect to hear, you know? I don't know what it is. It's perfect, though. But anyway, let's go ahead and end with that one. That one was great. Thank you so much for watching. We had some good ones today. A mix of not scary at all, some things that were odd, some things that were actually terrifying. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet and feel like it, of course. I've been posting a pretty wide variety of videos over the last couple months that I'm pretty happy about. So if you've missed any of those and you want to go check them out, they're there for you whenever you want them. Bye-bye. What are you doing in the dark, you weirdo?